When working with type in Illustrator, we can flow our text along a path, we can fill the path with text, or we can have text stand on its own 2 feet as point type. We can either type the text within Illustrator itself, or we can import text that might have been set in another application such as Microsoft Word and bring that into Illustrator. Now, when working with type in Illustrator, you're going to be working with the various type tools. The first 3 type tools all set horizontally place text, and as you can see with the name of the bottom 3, they will generate vertically set text. Let's start by looking at the type tool and use that to create some point type. To generate point type, click with the tool anywhere in your artboard and start typing. To then change the formatting of your type, you can highlight it, or you can use the selection tool and select the single point that we see here on the left hand side or the line and move this text around. The character option in the control panel will give you quick access to the character panel. This is where we can set our font style, our font size, and so on. In this case, I want this type to be 43 points, maybe 42. I'd like to turn that into all caps, and maybe I'd like to space the letters out a little bit by increasing the tracking. Because this text is going to be placed in the center position on this logo, I'd like to set the alignment for this text to center. Now visually not much changes, but the only thing that you might notice is that that point is now positioned in the center of the text. We can now drag that into position, and all we have to do now is change the fill color of our text. We do that by jumping into the fill box here in the control panel and changing the color to paper. Let's now insert some text in an area. Now I want to use this circle as the area in which the type is going to be placed. So we jump to our area type tool and click on the path to turn this into an area in which we can type. Now I've already created a little text document in Microsoft Word, and I would like to import that text. So with the cursor flashing in this text area, we go to the File menu, choose Place, and navigate to our Word document and click Place. We're using the same command as we used in the previous video for placing an image that we were going to trace. Now we'll get this additional dialog box that pops up that asks us which of the components from Microsoft Word we want to include. In this case, all I want to have is some raw text without any formatting applied to it. Let's return there. Okay, so what's happened? We've lost the coloring on that text object as soon as we turned it into a type area by clicking on the path with the type area tool. If I use the direct selection tool and select just a path, I can apply very quickly a graphic style that I've created earlier and recreate that appearance. So to get your color back on the text object that you've clicked on, select the path. Don't select the entire object, because in that case you would be changing the color of your type. To change the formatting of our text, we'll jump back to the type area tool, and to highlight your text, keep a close eye on the appearance of the cursor. This can be quite confusing, but when you see the little circle around it, if you click, then you'll actually generate an error. But wait till you see the text cursor and then just highlight all of the text, and we can now change the font, and we'll want to change it to Chaparral Pro, and because I know the name of the font, I can start typing that and Illustrator will automatically jump to that particular font. Then let's go to the font style. We'll leave that on regular and we'll increase the font size to about 15 points, and we'll set our paragraph alignment to centered. A couple of other things I want to do here: highlight the word 0 and turn that into bold. Double clicking on a word will actually highlight the entire word, and we'll highlight the word Emily Dickinson and we'll change that into an italic style, and we'll increase that font size from the pop-up menu to 24 points. And we've just about got things ready. Need to change the color of my type. Pressing Control or Command A on the keyboard will highlight all the text in the text area, so I can quickly jump to the fill box here in the control panel to do that. But we're not quite there yet. One of the things that you might have noticed is that the text sits too close to the edges of the circular path. And to change some of those settings, we'll use the area type options. I'll move this out of the way a bit. First of all, to push text away from the edge of your text area, increase the inset spacing. I'll hit the preview here so we can actually see what happens. Now, I'm not happy with the word "the" sitting so close to the top of the object. This is occurring because our offset for the first baseline is set to accent. I'm going to set that to the cap height, and that will just push that text down a little bit. I'm kind of happy with that at this stage, so we'll click OK. Additional things that I might want to do is, for this particular paragraph, push some space between the paragraph and the following paragraph. That is a paragraph-based setting called Space After, which you can find right here in the paragraph style panel. So we'll just push that down a bit to make that look a little bit different. And to lastly push that text further out towards the edge of the path to approximate the shape, we can change the alignment to being justified with only the last line of this particular paragraph centered. We also have the option here to disable or enable hyphenation on a paragraph. I'll switch that off, and we'll just click in the control panel here to hide that again. The last thing we'll do is add some type on a circular path. Now I'm going to draw a circle out from the center here. Now let's hope I'm in the center. Hold down the Option and the Shift key, or the Alt, the Shift key if you're on a PC, and just drag that out to generate that circle. And we now use the Type on a Path tool to add some type to that circle. Now instead of clicking at the top of the circle, I'm going to click at the bottom of the circle, because if I now start typing the word certified, it will automatically appear at the top. Don't ask me why, but that just works. We'll just check the paragraph panel and we'll change the alignment to centered, and I'll highlight that text by double clicking it, and we'll change that to, we'll make that Myriad Pro again. Myriad Pro. We'll make it semi-bold, and to make it capital letters we'll do that. And we notice we've got some issues here. The text is not quite positioned where we want to have it, but we've got access to our Type on a Path options. We can set the appearance of the text in different ways. By default it will use rainbow, but you can also use skewed. And I'll just jump back to the Type on a Path options, because that will actually give us access to all of those settings. So you can quite easily enable the preview option and have a preview of what those different settings look like. Now currently the text is aligned to the baseline. So the circle that we've created behaves as a baseline on which that text is positioned. And I would like to center the text on that baseline because it just looks that little bit better. Now to increase the spacing between the characters, we need to decrease the value. Yes, that makes total sense, I know, but that's how it works. And there we have our type on a path. All I now need to do is change the color to paper, and we've got our logo just about finished.